Why did the snowman go to the garden? To pick his nose.
Welcome to Brothers Know Best, episode 7. We are talking best Christmas movies. I have seen the list, and we have categories for best Christmas movies that we're going to talk about, 6 different categories. And I think it might get a little spicy with some of these. But thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, do all the things. We really appreciate it. We've enjoyed the response to the show, and so we're going to keep doing it. Before we jump into Christmas movies and Christmas content, boys, how about them dogs?
Ooh. How about them dogs?
How about them?
Good Lord.
SEC champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, number 2 in the college football playoff. I know not all of our friends and family who listen to this show are Georgia fans. Some of them are Alabama fans. And Alabama is going to the, what is it?
Bless
the ReliaQuest Bowl.
ReliaQuest Bowl.
I thought it was the Bless Their Hearts Bowl.
Yeah. You know, you can't spell ReliaQuest Bowl without AU lost, which is just, it's just.
That should have been the dad joke at the start of the
UA lost.
That's pretty good.
All right. Georgia, SEC champions. What's the best thing that happened in sports this weekend besides Georgia winning another SEC championship and making the college football playoff?
Oh, I'm not veering from the championship game.
I was going to see if anybody was going to take the bait and talk about anything else besides Georgia winning the SEC championship.
No one. We may just take the next hour. Yeah. Guys, we may just curb the movies till next week.
No one's
because we could talk all day.
All right.
If you don't want to talk more about the SEC championship, just fast forward 10 minutes.
Yes.
That little button.
Yeah. Yes.
That little button.
You can find the next segment.
Okay. So, I mean, which moment do you want? The moment I like is when Gunnar Stockton comes out at halftime, and we're not going to dissect all the events led up to that. But when he is out there and ETN just reaches over and just gives him that little love tap, little booty tap, like, hey, dog, go do your thing. Like Ant-Man said, go do your thing. Go do your thing. Although he was talking to Carson Beck, didn't know it would be Gunnar Stockton, but ETN was like, dog, do what you do. Let's do it.
Yeah, for those who don't follow college football, Carson Beck, Georgia's quarterback, got knocked out of the game. Gunnar Stockton, the backup quarterback, had to come in, who hasn't really played all year. And played really well. Led Georgia to an SEC championship. Yep. Michael?
Yep. Carson Beck got knocked out of the game. He was out for the remainder of the game, except for one play.
That's right.
He had a UCL injury, I think is what we've heard. Messed up his elbow.
I can't even spell UCL. I don't even know what that means.
He's out of the game until Gunnar Stockton really gave his life for Georgia football. Took a
Gunnar
shot.
Stockton died so Georgia could live.
Took a shot, came out in the last play of the game. One-armed Carson Beck comes back on.
The one-arm bandit.
And he has just enough in that arm to receive the snap and hand it to Trevor Etienne for Georgia to win. Huge moment. Epic.
Yeah, huge moment for Georgia. They beat Texas for the second time this year.
Which is shocked. I'm shocked because Texas has beat so many great teams this season.
Underdogs for the second straight time.
So let's talk about this. Georgia played Texas back in October. Every single person on the panel on College Game Day on the set picked Texas. Georgia plays Texas again in the SEC championship, and every person on the set except for Pat McAfee picks Texas again. So Nick Saban 0 for 2 picking Georgia versus Texas. Kirk Herbstreit, I don't know if he picked it. I think Kirk Herbstreit was calling it, but just some guys up there that are 0 for picking against Georgia this year. So congratulations to Georgia. Congratulations to Kirby Smart. Congratulations, Georgia fans.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I know we Georgia fans are obnoxious. I know, people say we bark at people and all these other things. And listen, I want to be the first to tell everyone, if you think we're obnoxious now, you let Georgia win this national championship.
Wait.
And boy,
just wait.
Boy, we may do an entire hour of the podcast just barking.
Guys, at what point in the season had we resolved that, like, okay, guys, we've still got some pieces here, but it's just not gonna quite work out.
Listen, if you're about to try to get me to admit that I didn't believe in Georgia football this year after they just won the SEC championship and beat Texas twice, man, I've been a believer. I've been a believer all year.
We've been saying it all year.
You ain't shaking me. I've been saying it all year. All year.
never doubted.
You're knocking me off this. Hey, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. We ain't coming out here and talking about when we didn't believe in Georgia. We have been believers for at least the last couple of days. We've been believers in Georgia football. Maybe not the first half of the Georgia Tech game that Daniel and I was at, but at least. But no, I'm just telling you, if y'all think we're bad now, just pray. Say your prayers that Georgia doesn't win this national championship, because you might get a 45 minutes of barking as a podcast episode.
Listen, I might last 6 or 7 minutes, but I can tell you this. I'll leave and I'll come back 43 minutes later, and Daniel Smith will still be on this podcast barking.
So Georgia's the number 1 seed. Oregon's the number 2 seed. I'm sorry, I flipped that.
That's reversed.
That's what it is in my brain. That's not what it is. Right. Talking about playoff. Oregon's
on top.
Oregon is the number 1 seed. Georgia's the number 2 seed. What happens if Georgia plays Oregon in this national championship, Michael? Like, what happens if it comes down to you as an Oregonian? What happens if it's the Ducks versus the Dogs in Atlanta? What do we do?
I have some good friends. Shout out to the Banksons. We go to their house periodically because they have a setup in their basement with a projector, and it is a massive screen to watch football. And we love it, and it's so much fun. But we will not be watching that game with the Banksons because it'll just be too much.
Smart.
Too much.
That's smart.
But my kids will be conflicted. I mean, I bet my son will have his Oregon t-shirt on and his Georgia pullover. And if things don't go the Dogs' way, he'll take that hoodie off and he'll say, I was an Oregon fan the whole time. Never doubted. So
I love it. Oh, to be a kid again, and to be able to just make those choices right in the moment. Yeah. Fantastic. Some of us talk too much trash on the internet to make those choices in the moment.
Exactly. He has so little invested in these sports teams that he can just flip flops.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out who on this podcast talks trash on the internet. That's bogus. That's bogus.
It ain't me. I don't know.
Michael, is it you? Michael has a burner. Michael has a burner account out there, guys. Oh boy. He's got a burner account.
Couldn't be me.
And he is whipping.
Nope.
The opponents.
Oh boy. All right. Off the rails already. Okay. That's the best thing in sports this week. We don't have to talk about anything else. Lord knows we don't have to talk about the Falcons. So we'll just move on.
Yeah. Hey, to those of you who took our advice and fast forwarded through the Georgia content, welcome back. Glad to have you back.
Welcome back. We are here to talk about best Christmas movies. Now, if you know us, we can't just sit here and just say, oh, here's the best Christmas movies.
Okay, cool.
That's not how we operate. We got to go. There's layers to it. Christmas, as you heard when we talked about Christmas music last week, if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. As you probably heard, there's layers to everything when we talk about list of best. And so we have 6 different categories that we're going to go through of best Christmas movies, and we're going to give you a pick from each. We're probably going to talk about multiples per person in each. But the end result, hopefully for you, is we'll give you enough fodder to disagree with us vehemently or agree with us. Or hopefully a little of both, because I think you do it right when you push the envelope just enough that not everybody fully agrees with you, but not everybody fully disagrees with you. Unless, I don't know. We'll see. I've seen Daniel's list, and boy,
everybody agrees with you.
Oh yeah,
there's nobody that disagrees.
We'll see. All right. Speaking of, we're going to let you go first, Daniel. So the first category is best classic Christmas movie. It's really important. We define classic Christmas movie as pre-1989. Now, depending on how old you are, that might be not very classic, or that might be ancient. But pre-1989 is what we're defining as best classic Christmas movie.
1989 or before.
Or
right?
Before. Correct.
1989, because 1989 counts as classic. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So, all right.
That'll be important in a minute.
All right, Dana, what you got?
Well, my classic is the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then you got Sam the Snowman telling the story. You got Rudolph. You got, and really, like the genius and the all the work that goes into claymation. If you don't know anything about it, you can just appreciate it on that level. But really, it's the Yukon Cornelius character that makes the entire movie the greatest prospector in the North. And it's the scene where they're sailing across on the little iceberg. And he says,
"Fog as thick as peanut butter."
You mean pea soup?
You eat what you like, or I'll eat what I like. Yeah!
You eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like. And I just love that. That has always cracked me up. It's classic. The abominable snowman to just the cherry on top. You know, he's got bad teeth. Oh, it's just great.
So much of that movie is the soundtrack, which is like one of the most underrated soundtracks in Christmas movie history. We Are Santa's Elves. We're a Couple of Misfits.
Burl Ives is the narrator for Sam the Snowman, who is Burl Ives is Christmas music. I mean, he is.
Silver and Gold, another classic. Silver and gold, silver and gold. So good.
Love it.
Rudolph, great choice, Daniel.
I also just chef's kiss of a plot twist that who's the elf or the one
Hermie.
that wants to be the dentist. And the abominable snowman.
I want to make toys.
Perfect.
Love it.
My Christmas classic, best classic Christmas movie is, I mean, if we would be remiss if we went through this episode and didn't name this. It's a Wonderful Life is just quintessential everything. Christmas movies for me. I watch it every year. I let my kids watch it when they were way too young. Scared my son a little bit because it's a little intense with the river, you know.
Yeah, it gets a little.
Yeah. But man, just Jimmy Stewart in his prime, and that scene where Bert and Ernie are standing outside the old rundown house singing while he has dinner with his girl is just perfect.
Good call on It's a Wonderful Life as well. I'm going to go for best classic Christmas movie. Listen, there's so many choices. And that's the thing. That's the hard part when you get into these classics, right? Is that so many. But I'm going to go with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye in White Christmas. White Christmas, if you've seen White Christmas, you know, it's, for me, I love it for the soundtrack and the dancing and just it is like so quintessential old school Hollywood with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. And they're, you know, it's like after they performed, you know, for World War II troops. And then after the war, they are kind of this famous song and dance team, and they go and perform at this nightclub, and, you know, and they end up just basically putting on this incredible show. They persuade these girls to not go to New York and spend Christmas in Pine Tree, Vermont, where they're booked as performers, and just such a classic Christmas movie. I'm going to go with White Christmas, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye.
Oh,
all right.
Top notch.
That's classic. Now, best modern Christmas movie, which is 1989 and after. Now, Michael, why is it important?
No, I'm going to clarify. 1989 and before was classic. 1990 and after is best modern, because what happened in 1990, Daniel?
Wait.
You do that, you know what that movie is. You do that, you know what the movie is. When he slaps his face with the aftershave.
I'm gonna clip that.
You already know.
I'm gonna clip that as just. I'm putting it out there. Just that. Nothing else.
You know what? That's like an iconic scene.
All right. What is it?
And then
What is it?
you talk about soundtracks. You want to talk about, the old Jim Mora playoffs soundtracks. You talk about soundtracks? The Wet Bandits, man.
Are you going to tell them the name of the movie?
He still the name of the movie?
For the people who are listening on podcasts who didn't see your face, who have no idea what you're talking about right now.
It's Home Alone.
There we go.
For those of you who can't see my face. But for those of you who live in the modern era, you know what Home Alone is.
Yeah.
When I talk about aftershave, slapping my face, screaming, it's Home Alone.
If you didn't know that movie until he named it, stop the podcast. Go plant yourself in your living room and watch Home Alone. God bless
watch
America.
Home Alone right now.
Yeah.
But the Wet Bandits come in, and I love it because they're looking at each other. The intruders, the burglars, and they come in, and and Marv and Harry are talking to each other, and he says, "Why'd you take your shoes off?" And he looks at him, he says, "Why are you dressed like a chicken?" But really, like, my favorite line is when Kevin is going through Buzz, his little bully brother, like he's going through his stuff, and he picks up the picture of his girlfriend, and he goes, "Buzz, your girlfriend." Whoa. And he just slams it down.
Dude, Kevin giving Buzz all that shade when he realizes that he's home alone is it's really good. It's really good.
That is atypical little brother behavior, just so you guys know. John, you have no idea what that means, but Michael and I, especially me, we know.
No
Listen,
idea.
two things about that movie. One, you want to go down a rabbit hole on the internet. Google Home Alone plot continuity or plot holes or whatever. And there are so many Easter eggs in that movie that make the plot work, like the airline tickets, getting the milk spilled, and when they wipe the counter, they wipe Kevin's ticket into the trash basket or the trash can. So then they count the tickets, and they think they've got a ticket for everybody, so they never make the connection that he's not there. It's brilliant. And then the other thing to note about it is is it like Angels with Dirty Wings or Angels with Broken Wings or something? The old movie with the Tommy gun that he watches. That's not a movie. They made that to be the movie in the movie. Brilliant.
I know, it's genius. Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Just
so
brilliant.
good.
I gotta fast forward a little bit. Best modern Christmas movie for me has got to be Elf. I'll tell you a quick story about this. For the longest time, probably twice in a row, I guess, I had watched Elf over a period of years, and I'd only seen the second half of the movie. I missed the first half, and I thought, it's a fine movie. It's kind of funny. And then somebody found out that I don't know how that had happened, but I'd just never seen the first half of the movie. And they were like, you haven't seen the movie. And so then I went and watched the first half when he's running around New York City, when he drinks the entire 2-liter Coke.
It's so good.
Oh, gosh. So many great moments in that movie. Top notch. Elf with Will Ferrell. Go watch it.
Elf and Home Alone would be my two if I had picked before these guys. I will say I thought about saying Batman Returns,
that is a Christmas movie.
That is a Christmas movie. Set at Christmas time, Christmas trees all through that movie.
If the definition of a Christmas movie is some semblance of Christmas themes in there, and we all know the debate of Christmas movies. Yeah. If a Christmas movie just has to have a Christmas tree in there, so it's Christmas time, if that quantifies as a Christmas movie, then you just open the whole gauntlet of movies.
Yeah. Well, so I'll say Batman Returns. You've Got Mail, another great Christmas movie. We'll talk about another time. But for me, besides Elf, besides Home Alone, it's got to be the Santa Claus. Tim Allen sweet old divorced dad. He ends up being turning into Santa Claus, and so so many moments in that movie.
I'm not kidding. Let's go.
So Elf, Home Alone, Santa Claus. All right. Best family Christmas movie to watch with your kids. I'm going to go first for this one, just because we'll make it short and sweet. But The Muppet Christmas Carol, man, top notch.
Classic.
It's such a classic. It is just, the weirdness of the Muppets combined with the weirdness of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Yes. It's not the weirdness, it's the brilliance.
Well, yes. There's a fine line between weirdness and brilliance. I think it is weirdly brilliant. Love the Muppet Christmas Carol.
All right, so Daniel, your best modern Christmas movie was Home Alone. My best family Christmas movie, Home Alone 2. Lost in New York. I mean, what's not to love? It's an abandoned house. There's just traps everywhere, all kinds of raw material to work with. I love it. At one point, he throws bricks down from the top of the house and hits the guys.
Okay, kid. Give it to me.
Direct it.
They don't die. Kids,
Dude.
don't try this at home. Do not throw a brick from your roof onto Dad's head. It's not going to be funny. But yeah, brilliant. And so many. The Plaza Hotel, Tim Curry, just so many great characters in that.
Judson, don't throw a brick on your dad's head. I know you're listening to this, buddy. Sweet old nephew Judson, please do not throw a brick.
Don't do it. Don't do it, buddy.
That's only in the movies.
Oh, I got little known fact about me that you guys know, but listeners may not. I might have played a little role back in high school, a little high school musical of Charlie Brown. Yeah, that's hard to believe if you don't know me like that. But yeah, but Charlie Brown Christmas comes in as my family favorite because, like, the beauty of Charlie Brown is that they're kids and they have kid-like thoughts and behaviors, but they're very sophisticated in how they convey those thoughts and how they convey. They have those deep thought moments, but they still have those little kid-like. But they're able to, convey that message. And that was kind of the beauty of just Peanuts in general, as kids sometimes talking like adults.
Yep.
But the line I love is Linus when he says, "Charlie Brown, you're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem."
Charlie Brown, you're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem.
And that is just, I don't know. I love that because that's what we do. We take Christmas and we take like the stress and all that and the commercialism. Like, that's the whole beauty of the whole thing is Christmas is not commercialism and kids are drawn to it. So it's just great. Just the whole wire to wire. It's brilliant.
Daniel, cover your earmuffs. Michael, how much of Daniel picking that movie was just to be able to tell people that he played Charlie Brown?
Oh, 85%.
90.
Low. I'm coming in low at 85%.
He said 90. This man owns it. All right.
Oh, but that was a great production, by the way. My kids know Supper Time because that is maybe the single best track from Your Good Man, Charlie Brown.
The good one.
Supper time comes, can supper be far away?
Brilliant.
We're gonna have to clip all the times we sing during this episode. It's been a lot. Best funny Christmas movie.
The reason I put this one as my favorite funny movie and not as like the classic, my favorite classic movie, is because the focus on family tension and family dynamics. I think that anytime you're exploring that in a funny way, it's just there's a depth to it that makes
Michael, this isn't going to be Home Alone 3, is it?
Home Sweet Home Alone. The straight to Netflix.
No. That's the adult Kevin. Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, No, it's going to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
You
Just
serious, Clark?
oh, guys, you want to talk about one-liners? We could go. This could be for the next 45 minutes.
Totally.
I'll call out one scene. I think the greatest scene in the movie when they sit down to eat and they say, I forget the aunt's name.
Grace.
Great. Well, they say, "Do you want to say Grace?"
Yeah.
It's not her name. Do you want to say Grace? And she says, "What? We say Grace. Grace died 15 years ago." The blessing. They want you to say the blessing.
Grace! Grace! She passed away 30 years ago.
They want you to say grace. The blessing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh,
My cousin
my
Eddie
God.
stands up, puts his hand over his.
It's so good. So
Oh
good.
God.
It really
Oh.
is. It really, I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
I think my favorite line is where she says, "I think it'd be best if everybody goes home," or something like that. She said, "Before it gets worse," and he says, "Worse? How could things get any worse? Take a look around, Helen. We're at the threshold of hell."
Well, I will tell you, here in our local little hometown, they do the Christmas tree lighting on the square every year. And I took the girls, Elliot and Finley, and they said, so they were going to light the tree, right? And the guy says, "Yeah, goes, all right, 30 seconds." And then like 3 seconds later, he goes, 2, 1, light it up.
2, 1, light it up!
Nothing happens. No light comes on. And about a 10-second pause happens. And then you hear this guy in the background go, "George!" Guy in the background go, "George!" It was such a National Lampoon's moment because then the guy sings "Joy to the World." Then the MC with the microphone again goes, "Light it up," and nothing happens. It's another 30 seconds. Finally, the lights just come on magically. So my little hometown. Shout out to Marietta.
I want to know how many men, when they get all their Christmas lights up and their tree up and they get everything, when they plug it in, how many men do that? Or at least like say that in their head. They plug it in and they're like,
So good.
Great.
So good.
Great.
All right. I'm going to do for my funniest. And again, we picked these. So these guys took some of mine. So, but I will say I stand on business when I give you my best funny Christmas movie is Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest P. Ernest P. Worrell.
Ernest P. Worrell.
Ernest P. Worrell.
You know what I mean, Vern?
Who works as a taxi driver, and a man that claims to be Santa Claus shows up and he
saves Christmas is what he did, John.
Ernest saves Christmas.
You have Christmas today because of Ernest P. Worrell.
Boy, it's such a good movie, and smell those Christmas trees. You can keep your channel number 5. Just give me a whiff of that old lonesome pine.
Smell those Christmas trees. You can keep your channel number 5. Just give me a whiff of the old lonesome pine. That symbol of brotherly love. That centerpiece that all mankind gathers around to share the cranberry sauce shaped like a can.
The best quote. I'm going to say that before Christmas dinner this year. Smell those Christmas trees. Just give me a whiff of that old lonesome pine. The symbol of brotherly love. That centerpiece that all mankind gathers around to share the cranberry sauce shaped like a can. Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
We're gone. Mine is Four Christmases. With Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. There are so many one-liners in there. Vince Vaughn is such a, he basically plays the same role in every single movie. He's kind of that quirky, snarky, throw those lines in there, but he does it almost like nobody else. But I mean, that movie, so if you don't know anything about that movie, one, just go watch it. But they spend their life, they're a married or a together couple, and they spend their life avoiding Christmas with their families because their families are so just crazy. But anyway, long story short, they end up having to spend all 4 Christmases with each of their parents. And it's just the absurdity of each scene with their family.
Yeah.
But it's so absurd that like it could be real. Like you could visualize this happening somewhere in it's small town America. Oh, it's just so good. But when Vince Vaughn's character says, "My childhood was like the Shawshank Redemption, except I didn't have some old warm black man to share my story with." And then Robert Duvall comes in with his line. He's
Robert Duvall.
He's the dad. He says, "Boy, I don't want to speak ill of your mother on Christmas, but she's nothing but a common street." And Tim McGraw, shout out to Tim McGraw. He plays an incredible like wingman, just kind of like an extra. Just he's not really the main character in any of his movies, not that I'm aware of. But he plays such a good, just backyard country brother. That's just great. That's great.
You miss the best part of Four Christmases. The best part of Four Christmases is where they go to the church and they end up being in the nativity.
Can I ask you a question seriously? My wife is pregnant, but it's not my child. But you think I'm cool with it because God's the one that got her pregnant? Woman, do your job and swaddle this baby!
Brad, I can't. You're wearing the swaddle thing around your belt.
Enough! And I, Joseph, shall swaddle this baby. And I, Joseph, will protect this child. Forgive her, son, for she knows not what she's done.
I just wanted people to go watch that movie if you haven't seen it, because that whole scene is like unto any other.
So good.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. All right. So we've done best classic Christmas movies, best modern Christmas movies, best family Christmas movies, and best funny Christmas movies. We got a couple more. We're going to do best underrated gem. I'm going to give you 1A, 1B, and 1C. So I'll start with 1C. The holiday. So these are spoiler alert. These are all rom-coms. The holiday.
These are for you and your lady, or you and your man.
The Holiday with Jude Law and Jack Black and Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz, where Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz switch places for the holidays, and it's that one. It's really good. Love Actually, y'all. I'm sorry. I know there are whole threads on the internet talking about how bad Love Actually is and why it's the worst movie. Love Actually is a hilarious Christmas movie for 2 reasons. And the main reason really is just one reason. But the main reason is I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Christmas is all around us. Oh, it's so good. I like Love Actually, and I'm not going to apologize for it. But I will say, on a serious note, the underrated Christmas movie is The Family Stone, the underrated gem. Family Stone is, it's kind of sad, to be honest. It's about basically, all these misadventures of a family in New England called their last name is Stone. And there's there is comedy, but there is drama. It's a wonderful movie. It has, what was her name? I think Claire Danes and Diane Keaton I think are the two that it has in it. But Family Stone is a good one if you want to sit down and watch a more like serious movie that has some hilarious parts in it as well and some drama. The Family Stone is an underrated Christmas movie.
Never seen it because I think there's always a moment at Christmas where it's like, oh, I could watch The Family Stone, or I could watch Home Alone again. So,
and you watch Home Alone for the 29th time.
Why not?
Oh, mine is it's Family Man with Nick Cage. I just love it. The guy is like a super successful business guy. Turn of events, he wakes up and he is living an alternate life. It just happens to be like with his college sweetheart who things happened in their past and they went their separate ways. And basically like I think everybody has a moment in their life like, what would my life be like if I had done this or done that, or not just with somebody, but just taking a different route. So it's just a good feel good movie. I say underrated because it never really gets talked about, but it is so good, guys. It's Nick Cage. Don't hate on Nick Cage.
If you're looking for criticism on Nick Cage from this podcast, come to the wrong place. We may have a future segment, best Nick Cage movies.
Best Nick Cage.
Y'all want a cage match?
Yeah, next time.
Snake Eyes.
Yeah, next time I'm sick and y'all going to record without me, that can be your topic.
Oh man, tell me you wouldn't vote for Con Air. Tell me you wouldn't, bro.
Love Con Air. All right, Michael, what's your best underrated Christmas gem?
Mine is what's great about this movie is it's short and sweet, to the point, quick hit. I think it's 25 minutes. It is the 1969 made-for-TV movie Frosty the Snowman with Jimmy Durante, none other than the legend Jimmy Durante, narrating. And I don't know who voices Frosty, but he has the thickest New York accent, and it's just cheesy goodness. Your kids will love it. You'll love it. It's just classic, fantastic,
yeah,
and forgotten. Nobody really thinks about it. But
no, it's a good one.
Excellent.
And I know we have just talked about the best Christmas movies in these categories. Let's do a quick round of honorable mention because then we're going to talk about the worst Christmas movie. So honorable mention, any movie that I know we could do this for another hour, but we're not going to. Any movie that like we just didn't mention that should have made an appearance if we had had a longer list.
You'll shoot your eye out with that thing. We didn't mention Christmas Story.
Nope.
Every man knows what it's like to be that dad in the basement fighting the furnace.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
That's an honorable mention. We didn't mention The Grinch.
Nope.
Grinch is good.
Grinch is good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that's good that we didn't mention is The Christmas Chronicles. And I'm not even kidding. With Kurt Russell.
No, I'm not kidding either because I almost put it as my underrated.
Dude, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell.
Maybe I went too deep on it when it came out a couple of years ago, but
yeah.
Michael, have you watched it 25 times like I have? You get to that 25th time, you'll find something to appreciate in there. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Get your weight up. If somebody is hoping that somebody on this podcast is going to mention Die Hard, I hate to break it to you. It ain't going to be me.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
No?
No. If I recall, Bruce Willis himself said it was not a Christmas movie.
Well, so the woman's name is Holly.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay.
The woman's name is Holly.
Wow.
It's set Christmas time. Daniel? I mean...
That's why I said earlier, if just because it's set at Christmas, then Harry Potter, the entire series is Christmas movies. Harry Potter.
We watch Harry Potter at Christmas time.
I love Harry Potter, but I don't qualify Harry Potter as Christmas movies.
Right, so y'all let us know on the socials in the comments, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It takes place during Christmas. It has Christmas decorations, Christmas music. The woman's name is Holly. Is it a Christmas movie?
No.
Just let us know.
I've made some faces, but I am not voicing an opinion. I'd like to see the results of the poll, please.
I should mention 'Tis the Season to Be Irish, which is a wonderful Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh my gosh.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It blends a woman in Ireland with flipping houses with like y'all. It's a wild ride. 'Tis the Season to Be Irish. I don't know. That was on the other day, and do not recommend it. All right. So speaking of now we're getting in the right vein to talk about the worst Christmas movie, and in this conversation,
I'm so glad. I need to go first because the segue into the worst when you said Hallmark Movie Channel. The worst Christmas movies out there, just scroll on over. Just click on over to the Hallmark Channel.
Don't you dare.
Anything you watch on there.
But
anything you watch on there is terrible.
Don't you dare.
But I'm a career-driven woman stranded in a small Vermont town at Christmas.
That's every movie. That's every single movie.
No, not 'Tis the Season to Be Irish, because she's in Ireland, Daniel.
She's stranded in Ireland.
They are banking off that Irish accent. That's all they're doing because people love that accent. That's it. Hallmark Channel is a snooze fest at Christmas time. Oh, I don't even want to dissect. But my worst Christmas movie is Santa with Muscles with old Hulkamania, brother. He is like some kind of self-made millionaire, bodybuilding supplements. Guys, let me just read you straight off, and I've seen this movie, but let me just read you straight off the Wikipedia page. And it says he's a self-made millionaire. He's playing paintball. He gets chased by the police to a mall where he's mistaken for a Santa Claus. And there's an evil scientist. Do I need to keep going? Really? Do I really need to keep going?
No.
That's the worst.
No, you don't need to keep going. Mine is not that much of a hot take. Jingle All the Way is a 90s Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay? Arnold Schwarzenegger is I believe he plays a car salesman, if I'm not mistaken. No. I just pulled it up so I'd get it right. He plays a mattress salesman in Minneapolis, and he's a workaholic, and he has to get his son the latest and greatest action figure for Christmas, and they're all sold out everywhere. And it's Christmas Eve, and he's got to go find it. And dude, it is, if watching Arnold Schwarzenegger try to play like a normal-ish dad scrambling to find his son Turbo Man for Christmas is one of the most excruciatingly painful things they've ever seen. Not only that, his moms are like accosting him, and you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger in his accent say, "I'm not a pervert. I was just looking for the Turbo Man doll."
I'm not a pervert. I just was looking for Turbo Man doll.
It is just bad. It's such a bad Christmas movie.
At what point in that movie does he say, "Get to the chopper"?
To the chopper. He doesn't. He does say,
"I've got a headache, and it's not a tumor."
He does say, "I'm not a pervert," which that is like Arnold Schwarzenegger yelling, "I'm not a pervert." I was looking for the Turbo Man doll. It's an underrated line. Actually, should be right up there with "I'll be back."
I'm not a pervert. I just was looking for Turbo Man doll.
All right, look, Jingle All the Way. No bueno. Michael, save us. Worst Christmas movie?
We can't recover from that.
No, we can't.
There's no saving us. Well, my worst Christmas movie was going to be A Charlie Brown Christmas. But, sorry, Daniel. But it can't be. Actually, I'd already talked myself out of it because that soundtrack is so elite. I mean, forget the animation and the pacing and the whatever. Whatever's not great about that show, about that movie, the soundtrack makes up for tenfold.
Yep.
So fantastic movie. But the worst Christmas movie, gentlemen, is The Polar Express. And I defy you to make a case that it's not. I mean, it was experimental animation that didn't work, didn't survive. It was not, they thought it was innovative and it just looks terrible now. Tom Hanks is brilliant in everything he does, but he did like one too many characters in this movie that is just too much. There's like random moments, like the homeless guy on top of the train. You're like, what's going on here? But there's nothing worse than the annoying kid that with the worst voice ever, the Jar Jar Binks of Christmas movies, is that kid on the Polar Express. I just can't do it. If it's on in my living room when I walk in, I say what our dad used to say when he walked in and we were watching something we shouldn't watch: turn that trash off. Y'all find something good to watch. Polar Express. I'm out on it. Nope.
Michael, be honest with me. That bell doesn't still ring for you, does it? That bell doesn't ring for you.
Okay.
That's okay. That's why you hate the Polar Express. Please, hot chocolate. Hot. I mean, come on,
no,
Santa. Bro. The bell falling through the boys, the hole in the pocket. I mean, come on,
bro. I can't do it.
It's okay.
I listen. At this point in my life, maybe the bell stopped ringing for me. I'm just a successful businessman. You know, just trying to make my money. Don't try to take me back to a place where I'm married to my college sweetheart, you know, and life just worked out a different way. Sorry, good to go back to Dave.
I have no idea where you were going with that.
Come on.
Michael needs his bell rung, is what it sounds like.
Off the rails. All right, boys. We're going to end real quick. Tell us, like, do you have a best gift you've ever received? Now, this doesn't have to be long. We can come back and touch on best gifts again next week. Do you have anything to end to tie this up in the people on best gift that you've ever received?
I'll tell a funny story next week, but rollerblades.
Okay, I like that little teaser. I'll tell about this because I've been drinking from this mug the whole episode.
Can you hold that mug up again, please?
I will.
Okay.
It is one of the best gifts I've ever received. Not because it's expensive, not because I don't know, not whatever else might make a gift great. This mug is one of the best gifts I've ever received because it is none other than the person that I want to be. Just eternal optimist in every circumstance. It's Ted Lasso, my friends. If you're listening to this on audio, it's a Ted Lasso coffee mug, and it says "Believe." And the reason this is one of the best gifts I've ever received is because my team at work gave this to me, and I've never felt more seen and more affirmed. I was like, "Thank you." It's all I'm trying to be.
I love that. I'm gonna save my best gift and stories for next week, so that y'all come back and listen. We'll see y'all next week.